Hello Waste Warriors. I'm trying to clear my inbox before Zero Waste Week starts in less than 2 days. It's a bit like a cistern, empty it out, it starts to fill up again, but it's wonderful because it's all the people signing up for this year's Zero Waste Week who have got fantastic queries, and I want to get through some of them today. So I'm going to cover several in one video. So the first one is from Jackie, and she writes, "My recycling bugbear is polystyrene packaging chips which I receive from companies. They're not recyclable, they're definitely reusable, but then how many packages do I send out that need chippings? None, actually. I would be really interested in finding out what others do with them." I think that polystyrene chips are lots of people's bugbears, Jackie, and like you, there are many people as well who actually don't send that many packages themselves, so they really don't need to reuse them. But there are lots of people who do like to use them, so my first suggestion to you would be to get onto your local free cycle group or street bank and find out if there's somebody in your local neighbourhood that can make really good use of them. It may be that somebody local sells things on eBay or have a small Etsy shop or something like that, and they would love to take these off your hands. And I'm wondering about scrap stores as well. I don't know whether they take things from private households. I know they take things from companies, so it might be worth checking out there if you don't have any luck on free cycle. The other thing that some people do is they use them in plant pots for the drainage material. So instead of using stones or gravel at the bottom, they use polystyrene. One of the reasons behind that is that it's so much lighter, so you can often move the pots afterwards, even though they've got the soil in, because you haven't got the extra weight of the stones or the gravel. It's a bit of a, when I think about that, I think, well, eventually that polystyrene will end up in landfill because you probably can't pick it out perhaps the following year, but it's a good way for you to reuse it at home. The other suggestion is there's a guy called Chris. I'm going to find his details and send them to you. He repairs emergency headsets, and he gets, I think it's about 60 to 100 parcels a day that he needs to send out, and he is very happy and willing to take polystyrene from people because he really needs it. It is a bit of a put your money where your mouth is because you're going to have to pay to send it to him, but it's a lovely kind of warm fuzzy feeling that you could do, sending on your polystyrene chips that are going to benefit kind of a really worthy cause. I'll find Chris's details and I'll give them to you. Hope that answers your question, Jackie. The next one is from Kath, who says, "Sliced bread and salad leaves are my two problem areas. I try to buy the smallest loaf I can, but we often still have half left. We don't eat pudding, so I can't make bread and butter pudding." Okay, I'm thinking for you, Kath, I will give you a little insider tip here that we are actually going to be covering bread as a whole day of Zero Waste Week next week, so you'll get lots of ideas. But off the top of my head, if you're eating such little bread, I would suggest that you freeze the loaf when you get it and you just take out whatever you need for each day. Obviously you can toast it straight away from frozen. If you want it for sandwiches, you could make the sandwich, you can actually make up a batch of sandwiches and you can freeze them all complete with the fillings, as long as it's nothing mushy like cucumbers. But if you were going to have cheese or ham or something like that, you make up a whole batch of sandwiches, wrap them up, freeze them, take them out in the morning, and they'll be ready for you by lunchtime. I'm thinking that might be an idea for you. You also say salad leaves are my other area. Okay, funnily enough, we've got a whole day dedicated to salad leaves as well, so you're going to have lots of fun this week. I would suggest that you perhaps just have a go at growing your own, because salad leaves are something that you don't need a garden for this. You can grow them in a window box outside a back door or alongside a window ledge. And the great thing about that is you can literally cut what you need for that day. The rest of the leaves will keep growing. You can get the cut and come again leaves, so you're going to save a ton of money as well, because salad bags are really expensive, aren't they? They're more £1 or £2, and invariably we end up throwing half away. I'm going to challenge you to grow your own. I wonder what you think of that. Let me know what you think, Kath. Thanks for your great question, and I hope that you find out lots more tips next week during Zero Waste Week. I've had an email from, I don't know how to pronounce your name, sweetheart, Josie. She says, the biggest struggle of my waste is once a month with women's pads. Okay, so the average woman throws away sort of 15,000 pieces of sanitary protection in her lifetime if she's using disposables. So it's a really big environmental issue. There are 3 options that I know of for you. There are washable pads, which you would treat just like, well, that's what I use. So how do I treat them? I don't really do anything special with them, actually. I just put them in the wash. Some people are a little bit more, want to keep it separate from the wash, so that's fine. You can dry, you just basically treat them like nappies. So you either dry pail or wet pail them and then do a wash, at the end of the week, or in with just regular washes. You can use, what's it called? It's a menstrual cup. It's I can't remember what they're called now, a diva cup, that's it. So that's the equivalent of using a disposable tampon. It actually literally catches what comes out, and you pour it down the toilet, give it a rinse out, and then put it back in again. And the other one is sponges, which are absorbent. You rinse them out. I've not used them myself, so I'm not sure about how you treat them. I would imagine you need to boil wash them, would you? I don't know. People are going to have to let me know. I'm a little bit ignorant about these things, but there are plenty of options out there. The women on the Facebook group that use reusable menstrual products rave about them. We start collecting ones with all like pretty patterns on and show them off, and it gets quite addictive, actually, in a weird kind of way. And I would say, for people that go, oh gosh, that's really gross, actually what's more gross to me is the idea of 15,000 items being washed up on a beach somewhere when I'm walking around, because I don't really want to see that. So lots of options. There's plenty of information online, plenty of people selling pads, people make their own. And the other great thing about this, once you get into this as a routine, is the savings. Phenomenal financial savings to be made when you consider a diva cup costs, okay, the outlay is about £20, but that's going to last you, I think they last about 8 to 10 years. Well, I'm no good at maths, but I know that that's a huge saving. The same with the pads as well. Yes, there's an initial outlay, again, like reusable nappies, but the savings soon start to add up. So not only are you reducing landfill waste, but you're also saving yourself a whole heap of money. And women report as well that actually their periods get lighter, they get easier, they get less painful. So there's a bonus for you. So consider it, Josie, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. It's a really good question. It's something we need to raise awareness of. It's something we need to stop being all, let's not talk about it. Let's talk about it, and let's make the switch to reusables. Thank you for your question. And there's another question. I'm just looking for it on my phone. It was from Sue, who says, due to a chronic health problem, I take a lot of tablets. About 95% of my household waste is made up of the plastic and foil pop-out dispensers that these are supplied in. How or where can I recycle these, please? Well, I don't like it when I get questions I can't answer with a positive answer, but I can't answer your question with a positive answer, Sue, because there isn't one. I think back to when I was a girl, and we had glass bottles, didn't we, from the pharmacy that we just took back afterwards, but it's not like that anymore. So when it comes to health, we have to put our own health first. That's not even up for discussion. So I don't currently know of any way to recycle this type of packaging in the UK. Some of our real advocates, they actually painfully take off the foil and at least recycle the foil so that they feel that they're doing something. But in terms of the plastic, there's nothing you can do unless your council collects that type of plastic. And I think I know Suffolk are really good at collecting all sorts of different plastics, but most councils aren't. So I don't have a happy answer for you, Sue. I think it's really great that what I'm focusing on actually from your email is the fact that 95% of your waste is made up of that, which must mean that your household waste is tiny. So I'm just giving you a big high five across the ether. I think that's fantastic. I wouldn't worry about your medication packaging. It's obviously what you need in order to be able to do the fantastic thing you're doing, which is have such minimal household waste. So that's it. Sorry, I couldn't provide a sort of magical answer, because wouldn't that be great? It would really sort of take the burden off a lot of people, but sadly not to be. So thank you, ladies, for your fantastic questions. And if anybody has any comments to add to help and to give other suggestions, please share them. We'd all love to hear. I'm going to share Chris's details for those of you who want to send on polystyrene chips to him. Do just be aware, another thing with polystyrene chips, some of them are completely compostable, so you can test that by just taking one, putting it in a little bowl of water and seeing what happens. If it starts to kind of implode on itself, then it's compostable, and it's probably made out of, I don't know, something like corn starch or something like that. So do test it before you're worried that you've got this horrible landfill item. It may just be that you can stick it into the, I probably put it into the centre of the compost where it's hotter, and you may find that it starts to degrade over time. So yeah, Zero Waste Week on Monday the 5th of September. We're covering food waste. I hope you're all signed up and raring to go. I can't wait. We've got some great stuff in store. New things happening this year with multimedia, which you can wait and find out about. I look forward to seeing you in your inboxes, in your on your social media channels, and in your bin next week. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon.